we're getting ready for the next battleground. And if this is what we're gonna get for the 5 series here, I hope we go to a game 5.
This was only the first one.
What do you guys think at home? I mean, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter. Use that hashtag HGC Heroes Esports. We love hearing from you, and I know
Yeah,
you guys have
seriously.
to be excited about that one.
I want to know what you guys expect from the series after the first map now. So go on Twitter, hashtag HGC, contact the two of us at Tricks Like Caldor. Let us know what you feel about the series now. Because we came into this and we didn't really know. Now we've seen the first map. I am hyped.
As you should be, man. What a great way to end our Sunday here at HGC Europe. And, you know, give us a really amazing series. But we're going to come back next Friday and do it all over again. And, you know, gosh, it's just so cool that in a month's time, it goes from Team Liquid, they're in a slump. Team Liquid, what are they doing with their lives? Are they even top 3 anymore? To, okay, Team Liquid's beating Dignitas, who was second at the midseason brawl to Fnatic and could have been in a spot where they walked away with the championship.
Well, let's not forget, Liquid just poked the bear.
They did poke the bear, that's true.
And Dignitas, when they get angry, they take fools down. So
They get all grizzly bear on you.
exactly. So this next map is going to be also quite cool. So it is. Sky Temple, again the map choice of Team Liquid. And Dignitas looked strong in this last game. It was just that amazing comeback of Team Liquid. But overall, especially the early fights, looked so crisp for Dignitas. And they are, of course, going to be very eager to just say, yeah, this is not happening again. That might have been a bit of a blunder in the late game there of us, but now we're going to unleash our real potential.
Well, we're going to Sky Temple here, which is another favorite of Team Liquid. Let's see if they can shut down Dignitas, who has been on point on this battle in particular. Sky Temple maybe bringing some memories back, though, because remember, Sky Temple is the map that Fnatic went to and took the victory against Dignitas in the MSB.
Yeah, both times.
Yeah.
Not only with their Chen
Ooh, they had the
strategy
Chen one.
through the bot lane, which was the first best of 5 series, but then in the best of 7 final, it was also Sky Temple that decided it. And yeah, at this point, if they lose now, they're probably going to ban Sky Temple in the future.
Yeah, probably that'd be the map they're done with. So Sky Temple here. It's all about those globals. They've been great on this battleground. We've seen some really aggressive all-ins too as well. I like the idea too for this battleground because what does Dignitas do well? They find a hook target or they find some kind of way to get into a situation where they can all in on one target and blow them up. The execution has been flawless. But a map like Sky Temple is big, it's open. Those type of combinations become a little bit weaker simply because of all the ability to move around in space.
All right, we are starting things off with our draft kits. This is going to be awesome. Sky Temple as the map. Dignitas, what are they going to ban here?
Well, last game, they banned out the Vikings. This is a battleground that we've seen the Vikings occasionally from hostile ops, but might not fully warrant that ban in particular, as Team Liquid can always adjust, as we saw last time, and grab that a new Barak later on. Dignitas also will be getting their first pick, which they grabbed Abathur last time. Abathur falls off a little bit on this battleground.
You can really tell how much time Dignitas is already spending on the first ban.
No.
You don't see that all that often, so they're really thinking this through. And one of the old school strategy. This is a map where you can also play Vikings. It happens rarely.
Very rare.
But if a team puts it out, then it's going to be Team Liquid. I don't think that you're going to go into a first ban on the Vikings. They dedicated to it on the last map, the first one. But here's a Genji being banned out first of all. But Vikings is definitely something that Liquid in the past has played here. And I'm only saying it because it is one of those things they could pull out on the last pick if they really feel confident in that draft. But after Dignitas made their commitment and said, okay, it's going to be Genji, immediately we have ban for Liquid and the pick on the side of Dignitas. Going into the Uther, so we're going to have a game without Genji, without a new Barak. A lot less dive potential now.
Yeah, Uther coming in there, and Team Liquid have to think about what they want to move into. Do they want to go into CC-based comps or try to stay away from the CC, which we could see Chen later on as a mix-in for the rotation. Dignitas also gets one of their main frontliners for being able to bring in those combos and those execution kills that we've seen so much in the past. The follow-up will be Team Liquid with the instant first pick, Vikings into an Illidan.
First pick?
Yeah.
I expected it to maybe come in at the later on of the draft, but they are first picking them. Vikings first pick after Genji was banned. Of course, Genji also really thriving in a game against the Vikings, at least he can. And an Illidan. So Vikings with a soak and Illidan pressure on a lane. All right, I am sold on this. Boys, let's bring it. I'm ready.
And now suddenly look over to Dignitas, and do you move into Dahaka so you can have that global pressure to handle the Vikings just enough? And do you move into, okay, they're going to just go in for it, Dahaka and Abathur.
The Slugger is in. Okay. Oh my god, this is... I'm loving this series. This is like the best series to end our European weekend at the HGC. We have Dehaka with the Abathur, so there's a lot of pressure on the lanes. If Dehaka at some point can burrow in a lane, you should be able to snipe Vikings quite easily if Abathur helps you out there. Also, with Dehaka, you have that side soak that the Vikings will provide to Team Liquid, which is especially important for the second temple phase when you have the bottom temple coming online. So Dehaka is going to take the top position. And then after he burrows down, Abathur can take over the top spot. Just needs to make sure that the Vikings are not going to hunt him down too hard. Liquid is hovering a ban on Stitches, and you can't really blame them for that. I would love that ban, to be honest, since we have Uther already for the stun, and you have Dehaka for the added drag for the Tong, so there could be a strong CC chain after a successful hook.
But would Dignitas go into it? Dahaka, Uther, Stitches, and then 1 damage? Doesn't matter here. The option won't be available. Stitches is going to be banned out, and Dignitas will have to rotate into a different tank. Possibly... What are some options here? You got Ethereal here. You still have Muradin floating around, JPL specials.
Yeah, they need a frontliner. I could see Muradin, for example. Yeah. JPL can play an Arthur if they want. The thing is, I feel another ban that would have been good if you decide to not ban Stitches, you would probably look at Greymane. Because Greymane is a fantastic copy. He's also a good target for Abathur. Then we have Snitch, or we've seen him already on it a lot. He's fantastic on the hero. Genji is banned out. So when you're looking at the damage, that would have been a really solid option here. At the same time now, though, the question is, does maybe Liquid plan on even picking him?
Yeah, that was what I was going to bring up there. Did they just take away the Greymane, and now you have Greymane Illidan on your side, and you force Dignitas into a weird route where they get a frontliner, and then maybe a mage, and so their lineup has to be perfect. Gul'dan being banned out for Dignitas, not allowing Team Liquid to pick it up. There's still Tychus floating around as an idea as well for both of our teams. They have both shown it off pretty often in their last couple of matches, so let's see what Team Liquid wants to move into.
I mean, Liquid, okay, so we need support for them. They could also just simply think about... Could they? I mean, double support is, of course, the dream if you have an Illidan. The problem for them is if they head into a double support, then pick the tank, they have no range damage dealer, except, of course, for...
Eric the Swift.
For that too, and Balog. But they do it. They go into Oriel, they go into Tassadar, so they have Balog and Eric as range damage, and Tassadar, of course. Archon could be really strong for them during the team fights. That will help.
Could they run tankless here?
We have seen it.
Yeah.
The Chinese have done it. Easter, I think, was it, right? Who played the Illidan main comp. I could see it happen. I would prefer the tank, though. Yeah. I think if you get a decent tank, you can really just siege up on a lane and drive that home hard. Because right now, when I look at what Dignitas has, if I push a lane and I'm dedicated to it, I'm not afraid of anything yet. But the damage hasn't been picked yet for Dignitas. So the question is, what comes in for them now? I would be really worried that Team Liquid just simply says, we soak on 2 lanes, and with the help of Illidan and the double support, we are just going straight for the structures, and we are going to break through the wall and commit 2 forts.
Dignitas thinking about what option they want. They want to make sure that in their pick they have wave clear available. They're able to help out with the lockdown if need be, if Uther and Dahaka comes in. Is a KT a possibility for them? Muradin into, who's the 5th pickup? It is the Tychus.
Okay, so they go for the Tychus here. I'm really curious how that works out, and I'm curious what Team Liquid's strategy is, because amongst Oriel, Illidan potentially with Immolation, and the Tassadar with the Storm, you have a fair amount of wave clear already, and they played without the tank. They go for it.
It's happening.
It happened before, and it's happening again. They have the Vala for the damage, and I really feel in the 4-man, they are insanely strong right now. And they have an insane amount of wave clear on that 4-man.
Yeah, the wave clear is absolutely incredible. You're going to need at some point Dahaka to come in for a rotation to slow them down, especially in the early game. The Vikings soaking on multiple lanes. There are points where Dignitas is going to have to all in on the idea of getting a kill. So Dahaka has to come in and they have to get a pick. If they don't get those picks, the early game is going to heavily favor into Team Liquid.
I expect Liquid to be hyper-aggressive with this. Really drive it from the get-go. Get that momentum, build it, and run through the wave clear that you have while the Vikings soak. Because if you look at Dignitas, who clears the wave? Muradin isn't going to be the one.
Yeah.
You have the Uther, that's not going to happen. Then you have Abatha who can help out. Dehaka is going to be needed on the other lanes. Dehaka is the one who is supposed to get the side soak. So if you include them into the 4-man for wave clear, then who's going to soak the lane? Abatha? Vikings are going to hunt him down. That leaves Tychus, and Tychus can basically only do it if he's not being put under pressure, which is exactly what Liquid is trying to do. So this is a risk that Liquid is running. If they ever fall behind, I don't see them recovering. But if they can keep the momentum up from the beginning of the game, then Dignitas could be in very serious trouble here.
Well, let's figure it out. Can Dignitas hold the pressure that will be coming from Team Liquid? Let's go into Sky Temple. Team Liquid is up 1-0. Can they make it a 2-0 over Dignitas, the Korean Slayers from MSB?
Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be a crazy game. The 1-0 was already insane. Liquid starting to the left now. We have Splendor on Oriel, Hazorps on the Lost Vikings, Blumby on Tacita, Nurok on Vala, and Darkmok on Illidan.
On the right side, in the red, you can't count them out yet here. We're going to have Tychus being played by Mane, Bakery on Uther, JPL on Muradin, Snitch on Abby, and Zalia playing Dehaka.
So we have no tank on the side of Team Liquid right now, and they are at this point committing first of all in the middle. We have a split of the Vikings on all 3 lanes, so that means the 4-man is going to try and rotate here and adapt to the situations. But as expected, early aggression. This is what we need to see. They need to commit early on. They have the wave clear. They will burst down the waves with Oriel, with Tacita, and with Nurok on his Vala, and then try to put the pressure on. And this could work out for them. They need to be the ones driving the conversation here.
And at level 4, this is where this competition really starts to become a pain. You get the lifesteal from Tacita at 4, you get Volo with their multi-shot starting to come in to help out with that wave clear in particular. So Team Liquid will be dancing until they get that power spike at 4. Meanwhile, Team Liquid will be using Eric and Baylog in the middle and the bottom to soak those lanes. He doesn't have to do anything crazy here. All he has to do is soak the experience and make sure his team gets ahead.
Also, Bribe is going to help a lot, and that's another reason why the triple split makes sense for him now. But he moves into the mid lane, and first of all, needs to be especially careful at the bot lane where he placed Baylog. So that's the lane where Dehaka is currently trying to push these towers in. But the top lane is exactly what we expected. Heavy commitment. And look at the tower. The tower is already incredibly low, and on top of that, it's completely drained of ammunition. They are doing exactly what they need to do here. This has to be their game. If Liquid falls behind, it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to beat Dignitas. But they have just decided to fully commit to this composition.
And they have here. The turret's about to fall. Now it's all about the temples. How do those get controlled? They actually have Hossops coming in here with Olaf to work on the middle one. And they can split Illidan off if they need to work on those temples. And also keep this 3 members here. The Tacita, the Ariel, and of course Nurok together to continue holding the top one. And they start to do so. They are shelling away on the fort while Baylog continues to control that bottom and Olaf hits that middle. This is a very odd situation for Dignitas, but so far, they're holding it pretty well.
Yeah, so far they do. Bloom is now joining the fight in the mid lane, and we have still the bot lane being pressured with Baylog, so he's going to get some momentum and will or should get them a slight lead in experience, but Dehaka is splitting off and trying to counter soak. So with this, we have also Eric the Swift taken as the level 4 talent. Super important if you want to use Eric to channel a temple on his own.
Team Liquid realizing only 3 people are here as they make a big rotation into the last few shots on the temple. Can they move in for it? Darkmok steps forward, but so does JPL and Zalia. They're looking for the engage. Blumby able to get out the dimensional shift.
Wow, Darkmok dodging most of those CCs that could have been there. Zalia was looking for it and they push them back. So they take the shots at the top and they control a few more in the middle. And up at the top lane, this fort is nearly forfeit.
And I liked this too. Team Liquid, some teams would usually take the roster of the 4 units and they move in the top to get that fort, but they don't have to grab it now. It being weak allows for them to rotate out and start working on mercenary camps so they get pressure on the field and eventually take that fort anyway there. So we'll see it being killed later on, while Dignitas has to put people on the top to defend against it.
I'm loving what we're seeing here. Liquid split off against two of the mercenary camps. So we see Illidan on the camp as already the bottom left has been taken. So Dignitas now needs to react. They need to send people down to the bot lane to deal with those siege giants. They might kill off Baylog here, and indeed they do, but Illidan takes now their own siege camp. The problem is that Zalia is saying hello, but yeah, he's a bit too late. Even with the Abath ahead, he is not able to make anything happen there. And actually, Darkmore commits to trying and hunt him down.
Yeah, and he can here. He gets him low on health while Eric starts to push in that top lane. And just look at the mini-map. The bottom giants that you were talking about earlier, look at how nice and healthy they are as they shell away. Dignitas will defend while Eric and Illidan can work on that top lane and get that experience lead. They're trying to get to level 10 before their opponents. It's very important on Sky Temple to do so due to the threat of that boss.
Yeah, and now we have a massive push at the top lane thanks to Illidan. Hazops is also there getting more stacks for his bribe. This fort is gonna fall for sure. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Illidan immediately splits off. Not even needed here. And that is them being an entire level ahead. So now they can rotate into the mid to the bot lane, push that, soak the rest of the lanes with the Vikings. Liquid, the thing is, this composition is incredibly aggressive, but you can't make mistakes. It is very unforgiving. Maybe a small mistake here and there, but that's about it. If you may have one major flaw, if there's a big team fight against you, you will fall behind. And Darkmonk is already low, and he's killed, and he's not the only one.
Speaking of flaws, there it is. Darkmonk being taken out. JPL steps forward with the Stormbolt. He's going to hit Oriel. Drag falls up from Xaylia, and Team Dignitas wipes the floor with Team Liquid's corpses here, actually, and just takes them out.
That was a disaster for Liquid. That is the worst case scenario right there. They played nearly perfect up to this point. They had a one-level lead, they went through the top, and then they were in a position where they were pushing the bot lane. But now they lost 3 heroes at the worst moment in time. The wall was breached by Dignitas, the temple is taken, and now we are seeing Team Liquid falling behind. And this is going to make this very difficult for them. Vikings can carry them in the late game, but now Dignitas is all of a sudden the team that took the lead.
Yep, the mid games will be difficult here, with Dignitas taking the lead and moving towards 10. They get this temple, shelling away on that bottom fort, and they will actually score a fort for themselves here. A little bit far away here from hitting that 10, but they don't mind, as Bakery's going to go ahead and stun Darkmonk as he charges in. He's getting low again. Xaylia on the rotation, and Darkmonk dead again.
Yeah, too well done here on the side of Team Dignitas. A little bit over-ego, what we just saw there. So the level 10 already in play for Dignitas. And they're starting to move into the middle. Hazops is there with 2 of his Vikings trying to escape, splitting them immediately, but both of them are being hit by stuns, and it looks as if Olaf is going to fall after Balog already died.
Buying some time here. Eventually will be taken out. Team Liquid will be able to get 10 because of that chase, though. So Dignitas and Team Liquid tied on experience, but without the tanks being on the field here. This is where tanks get very powerful. Avatar coming in, of course, isolation here for the Dahaka. This is their power spike, and Team Liquid is in a spot where they have to make something happen, but you see them already on the map playing a little bit more defensive. They don't have the swagger they had the first 9 levels.
They are leveled down right now, and this definitely took a lot of the momentum away that they carried into the early game. So they have to be very careful. Illidan, going into the Metamorphosis, has to in this game. He is the main focus at the front line, so he cannot afford to go into Hunt. He needs to have the Metamorphosis so he can actually start dodging. I would have even expected maybe Divine Shield coming out on the side of Bakery to lock him down even further in these fights. But Nurok is in trouble. They go in. Rain of Vengeance already used. Illidan, Aegis is there. They're trying to heal him up, and he metamorphoses out. But Splendor is isolated as a result, and he dies. And so does Tacita. Yeah, he's going to fall.
Lumby being taken out, and that's going to be quick cleanup here for Dignitas. And they turn around, and they'll take their reward, the boss, as they begin to focus it down here. Team Liquid soaking continuously in the top and the middle, but look at the experience here. 12 to 11. Dignitas on their way to 13 and taking a massive lead.
Dignitas is looking super solid right now. 7 kills against 0. They handled this situation absolutely perfectly. They are always able to put Illidan under enough pressure. They were struggling with the wave clear a bit in the early game on those lanes that we mentioned, but when they bring the fight, they just sync up their stunts perfectly. They always lead with the Uther or the Muradin moving in, and then their Haka bursts in from the side, puts more pressure onto Illidan, and they're able to drop him as their primary target. And if that doesn't work, if it fails because the Metamorphosis is out, then it usually means that someone had to go out of position to save him, as we could just see with Splendor. And they simply turn around, shift through their targets, and drop another one.
Team Liquid hoping to contest on the top, while Dignitas is soaking the bottom and the top here with Muradin on top of the temple, and they are breaking down forts. And this is getting to a point where the first layer of defense for Team Liquid is starting to fall apart. What's the way for them to come back? Get to 13, start to get that multi-shot build coming online. 16 in particular, you get that slow and Olaf charge.
I guess late game with the Vikings can really carry you, but since you are so forced onto the temples, it's going to be rough. They need to get team fights on even talents and somehow make sure that Illidan starts to gain that momentum and get these battles in. But right now, as you said, it is tricky. from a structural point of view, they are not really all that much behind. They lost quite a bit, but they were at least able to drop 2 of the forts. They put the pressure also into the mid lane, so it's 1 fort behind. They're even in talents. With a good fight, they can come back into it, but it's not going to be easy since Dignitas is really playing this absolutely fantastic.
Well, Eric gets picked off. The Vikings continue to be taken out. Play again will be able to resurrect them for now, as we're going to have Team Liquid sharking around. They're looking for possible kills and map control, but it just doesn't seem to be there. Dignitas is winning out in the rotation game. They grab Giants from the bottom to push in. Adler is really coming online here. 15 to 13 in experience, and this is probably the time to fight if you want even team fight, but Dignitas just doesn't give them the option.
Yeah, Hazo has really... He needs to start and carry this a bit with his Vikings. I mean, this is not easy because Dignitas is doing a great job hunting them down too. So it's not as if Dignitas would ignore them. They simply take them wherever they can. But as you said, it's rough. The 16 talent for Dignitas is going to give them another big power spike. And at this point, Liquid is playing very defensive. They were coming into this game being the aggressor and really trying to just put the pressure onto Dignitas. And after they lost this big team fight at the bot lane where 3 heroes were killed, they lost all of that.
Dignitas careful there on that fight, not charging in on the Team Liquid simply because they weren't ahead in talents, and also that choke is great for that multi-shot and that Rain of Vengeance, so Dignitas will get away. But as you just saw, Zelia finding another Viking to pick off.
And this is the danger if you are playing the Vikings in this game. It's not only about the Dehaka. Dehaka is always assisted by Abathur. And once that's the case, you just can't really get away there, especially since on 16 we have the slow taken from Abathur too. So you just move in, he hits the spike, everyone's slowed, and then you have an easy kill against the Viking.
Aswab, speaking of Vikings falling, will be picked off on the Olaf. Need to soak that 16 here. They're full level behind with the Temple activating in 20 seconds. Team Liquid may have to consider going into a fight at a talent behind. However, they do have keeps here to give up. They can afford to not fight fully. They just have to be soaking here. And while it's been difficult, they're slowly getting it done.
Dignitas playing with a vision and trying to make once more a stun lock against Illidan possible. Darkmok is low. Zelia trying to move in, but thanks to Nurok, who nearly forced the grenade, the Rain of Vengeance able to keep Illidan alive for now. But a sneaky attempt by Dignitas, playing a lot with the vision, setting up a trap at the bottom left, and then moving in with a jump and stun on Abathur to try and get the kill. And once again, Murden moves in there. Okay, good escape from Tassadar, but still the Giants stolen away. But Dignitas is losing a bit of time that Hazops uses to get them closer to 16.
Yeah, Zelia burrowing in there, just making it a little bit harder for Team Liquid to grab those Giants. And they don't mind. Team Dignitas is playing full bully mode right now. With that Murd in the front line, his build finally coming online here to where it's going to be difficult to kill him. Even picking up heavy impact at 16 to lock down that Illidan. The full CC here. Very important for getting those kills, and it's 16 time here for Team Liquid. It's all on the line.
This is a great talent for them. Oh, Vala, okay, needs to move away here and does. Copy is already used, stunned out by Olaf. Tassadar is a bit low, so is Illidan, and Mene is on the Odin right now, firing away. Nurok extremely low in the back, but they get the heals from Oriel, as once again Illidan is attempting to turn this around here.
Divine Shield on Murden too, and they're just going to walk him forward here. JPL full on health. Olaf will fall. A heavy impact coming out. Splinter answers back with the stun from Bakery may be enough. Age is being used. Nurok low. Darkmok getting out just barely. So will Nurok, but Oriel not as lucky.
Oriel dies. Bloomby keeps himself alive on the Tassadar. It's so weird to see him on Tassadar. Since they don't play with a tank, he had to take one of these roles, but it's just a bit odd. The double kill, on the other hand, that was quite strong there, killing a few of the Vikings, killing the Oriel. It was impressive that Vala and Illidan got out of there.
Gotta ask you, what about Manicore at 16? I know the Frost Shot build coming in there. You're trying to lay things down so Illidan can chunk people down, but with 2 tanks in the opposing team, Murden, how is he dealt with?
I think for now the idea is just to ignore Murden initially and try and get a kill against ideally Tigers. Manicore could have been a talent to use. I personally love the utility on the Frost Shot on Vala, but with the pressure that they experience right now, I think Manicore would have been a very solid option or alternative at least.
Yeah, I think it's good here for controlling the youth or just making sure he doesn't get near your Illidan in time, slowing him down and bringing out the multi-shot. But man, Murden was quite a nuisance in that fight, and he didn't even seem like he had any threat of being zoned away from the fight.
The Benediction alone, if you get a double stun against Illidan and you time that well, and then you have the follow-up from Murden or the drag on Dehaka, it's just so much to deal with here. Okay, one of the Vikings down. We see Illidan just going for it, and apparently Dignitas didn't realize what was happening there. They only saw the Viking, but they didn't realize that the boss was being attacked. Bakery is checking now, but that might be too late. He doesn't get on the point since the detainment strike stops him. Can they win the fight? If they win the fight here and the boss moves through the bot lane, that would be fantastic for Liquid.
The Vikings controlling 3 people on the back left here. Olaf getting the stun, then they turn around. They're focusing down JPL and the Snitch clone. Nurok's working on the attacks here. Zelia low as well, but Blumby getting hit with the tongue. It is going to get Aegis to try to survive from here, but they're starting to get low. Darkmonk, though, continuing to shred on main.
Norok gets a heal once again. There's the kill against Tassadar, and Darkmonk just can't get the kills. Everyone on Dignitas is low. If he can kill them, that will be all that he needs. Mane is low. He's really low, and he's about to fall, but there's the stun. Can they take out Bakery now, too? Once again, Darkmonk is just barely surviving, trying to get away.
Nurok
hits everything to get the cooldown reduction. The heals are in, a Splendor is helping him out, and the boss is moving through the bot lane.
Team Liquid somehow just barely getting through that team fight. The boss will be pushing in the bottom. They do get the well here, and they get some damage on the keep, but the team fight, just through pure will of Darkmonk and the Vikings, by the way, they did an impressive job zoning on the left side, are going to walk away and grab a temple.
I was really impressed by Dignitas, though. Keeping their heroes alive for this long? It looked several times as if they would just lose one after another, and they got the kill in finally against Tassadar and really did solid work. If they lose this fight any faster, if the heroes go down, Team Liquid could even go through the bot lane and drop the keep there easily. But right now, this is still level 20 for Dignitas, and Liquid made an impressive fight happen, but let's not forget they only killed a single hero.
That's a good point there. Tyka's up in 2 seconds, but Team Liquid's going for the fight. 20 here for Dignitas. Can they shut down Nurok? The drag coming out. Darkmonk actually dives forward to tank the drag that could be coming out to save Nurok. Nurok comes out with a Rain of Vengeance, and they're working on JPL, who's low on mana.
Divine Shield used. Darkmonk dodging the tongue of Zelia with his Metamorphosis. Trying to move out again, but Mane with the Odin in the backline. Camps at the top, at the bottom, pushing in still. Zelia looking for another drag. Doesn't get it. They're stunned.
They actually get there. Hosswelps comes in with the stun, and Mane on the right side is going to be working in the damage on Odin, but he's being chased here. Darkmonk coming in. JPL trying to work in the auto attacks.
Olaf MVP for sure. JPL is low. The keep at the bot lane is actually about to fall to the camp here. It will be taken down. This was a fight against level 20 talents, and Liquid made it happen. There's another temple also at the bot lane. All of a sudden in this late game with the Vikings, with Illidan, Liquid is back.
This is actually very, very impressive, Caldor. Look at the keeps here. There's one that's low in the middle, but Dignitas, who had a very strong mid-game, was shutting down Team Liquid at every single turn, have been the team to lose the first keep in this game, and they're going to lose more here as Team Liquid grabs the bottom temple. Dignitas is on their way for the rotation. They want to fight when Dahaka comes up in 10 seconds.
This is absolutely crazy at this point, because if you just look at what's happening here right now, it could be that Dignitas is still losing this game.
2 seconds.
Can they coordinate the fight again to maybe get the drop on Illidan? So much pressure now on Dignitas all of a sudden, but here comes the drag. Can they go for it? Rain of Vengeance, it's perfect. The Rain of Vengeance hits everyone in this situation, saves Illidan for now. There's the isolation. They're going in once again. The Vikings are here, ready for the stun. The copy is already being dropped. We have them moving in, and Illidan is just chunking away.
Nurok on the left side continues to bring up the damage, and you're right, Darkmonk has yet to fall. The Divine Shield at the last second to keep JPL alive. Nurok bolts forward, trying to get for the fight. Darkmonk barely lives there, still low on health, and he's going to start healing up. He's chasing Bakery.
Tychus is down. Illidan is still alive. He's still alive. They took them down. They kill the Uther. They take down the Dehaka. They can core. They can actually go for the core. They wait for Bakery. They want him. This is insane. We had this can't be happening again.
It's happening, Caldor.
It's the second game in a row. Dignitas dominates the mid game. They do everything right, and then Liquid some way, somehow is able to win the late game fights. Liquid is unbelievable in this series.
This is game here. They just go straight for the core, and they'll focus it down. And Team Liquid will take a 2-0 lead over Team Dignitas. The late game consistently coming online for them. I can't believe that control. That was actually ridiculous. I thought the moment 16 hit and Manticore wasn't available for the Vala, I was like, you're never going to kill JPL. But they got kills on Tychus in particular, and even that fight in the middle, when they were down 20-19, Team Liquid were able to power through and get a victory.
If you're at Dignitas, you hate your life right now.
Yeah, you have to. Like, that's a really painful loss to have.
That happened twice in a row. And guys, we had the last team fight for you, so we're going to jump into that and we're going to take another closer look at it. So that was the beginning of the end. Look how the Reign of Vengeance was so good because it actually stopped them from taking down Illidan. Nuruk did so well here. Nuruk is a bit far out, and there come the stuns. That's Zelia coming in, and then the Reign of Vengeance stunning all three of them, and they're in a really bad choke point, eating so much damage from everything that was pushed out, and then it's the Illidan show in the back. And he died so many, or he was so many times so close to dying. The burst here, the position is just so good. JPL zoning everyone in the back, but Illidan is just doing way too much work
here. Just shredding constantly. JPL trying to get on that back line. You got to shout the Vikings too. They killed the Evolution clone there, which was important to get rid of, and this allowed Darkmonk to be effective. He kites back to his teammates, they dive forward, and eventually at this point, the fight's over. Darkmonk isn't going to be locked down at all. The heals are way too much, and they finally clean everything up. Incredible play there, and you're right, that Reign of Vengeance, that tip, barely hitting 3 people, whew, Nurok brought it in.
If he doesn't hit that, Illidan dies and it's over.
Yeah.
It's GG right there. That flank from Zelia was really good. But we had so many insane plays. When we were fighting over, or when they were fighting over the temple, when Dehaka came in for the Tong and he dodges it with a Metamorphosis, it just says like, nah, not gonna happen, I'm not gonna die here. And he sees Dehaka coming, he knows exactly what's up. Metamorphosis, dodges that, and then they continue the fight and win it in the end. What a game by Liquid. And everyone, I mean, we have the big 3 back, I feel.
Yeah.
Everyone said, okay, it's all about Fnatic, it's all about Dignitas. Liquid themselves said, yes, they are setting themselves apart right now. And you could talk to anybody at the mid-season brawl, even here in the interviews that we had, and the one thing that was echoed is Dignitas and Fnatic, they stand out. The 2 of them, they are the ones who will claim these spots going into the Western Clash. They're expected to be the ones that also contest them for BlizzCon. And everyone said, Liquid, they will fight for the 3rd spot, but it's going to be closer than ever. At this point, I don't know about that. It looks like the big 3 are back.
Team Liquid is here to brawl, and they're going to keep up with it. But we're not done with this series yet. Team Liquid's up 2-0, but they got to finish with 3-0, or, of course, have Dignitas tie it up. Let's be right back.
The enigmatic necromancers hold a belief that